Alright guys, what is going on? Oink here, and today of course it is Thursday, so we've got brand new seasonal events. This week is the 3rd of January, we've got the Super GT. This is a 600 performance points event for Super GT cars only. Here I'll show you the regulations, the entry requirements. Of course, 600 performance points, maximum tyres of Racing Hard, and then any of the Super GT, the cars listed there, has to be one of those cars. We've got a Tokyo Route 246, Tsukuba Circuit, Laguna Seca Raceway, Special Stage Route 5, and an Eiffel Custom. These aren't really long GT500 races, they are just standard races with GT500 cars, fortunately. And the car that I've gone to is my good old favourite Castrol Tom Supra. The GTR ones are also a good choice. I mean, they're all really, similar cars, so go whichever you prefer, but this is the one that I really enjoy driving. Haven't changed the brakes, obviously used the Racing Hard tyres. The suspension, I've gone with -10 on the front, -11 on the back, 13 on both front and back on spring rate, 5 and 6 on dampers extension, 7 and 8 on dampers compression, and 4 and 4 on roll bars with a bit of camber on the front, bit of toe on the front, and a bit of toe on the back there. In terms of the drivetrain and my limited slip differential, I've gone with 10, 5 and 15. These settings, by the way, the car handle is incredible. This car is so fun to drive. Pick up the customizable transmission to change. I went with the high rev turbo. You could just not power limit and not have the turbo, but I wanted that high rev turbo, so I took the power down. I got 30 downforce in the front and 50 downforce at the rear. Yeah, just felt like I wanted that turbo there. The prize for this event is a level 21 class random ticket. This includes things like NASCARs, GT500 cars, and other relatively high performance cars such as that. I got the 2010 Carl Busch M&M's one there. Good old car, that one. I like that one. First off then, Tokyo Route 246. Most of these events, by the way, are pretty easy. You guys shouldn't really have a trouble, but of course I'm going to do a video for you guys just because, I'm a nice guy like that, I just thought I'd do a video. Basically, this car, with this setup, handles fantastically. It understeers maybe a little bit, just a tiny bit, but it's so controllable. You can just put your foot down through the corners without risk of it spinning out or anything, which can be a problem. Settings wise, by the way, for all of these races I've gone with, as usual, everything off, with the exception of ABS set at 1. Like I was saying, you really can put your foot down out of corners nice and early, which is often a problem with the cars with a bit of oversteer, so you really don't have to worry about oversteer too much. Obviously, if you hit the curb or something, you're going to lose a bit of grip, so if that happens, don't slam the accelerator down, because these cars have got such low downforce, it will just do like a 180 spin instantly, so just be careful on the curbs and whatnot. And rumble pads and that lot, just be a little bit careful on the accelerator, but for the most part you can play this pretty aggressively. At the same time, it doesn't understeer enough that means it struggles through the corners. You can really hammer it through it. Just I really love this car. It performs really nicely, and you can see they're getting an easy win for the first race on Tokyo Route 246 with like a whole couple laps to spare. So second race in, we got Tsukuba. Now I shortened the transmission for this one. I think the first race set at about 180. This one I brought down to like 140 or 150ish. Just for a slightly quicker acceleration. Because of that, you do want to watch yourself just in the lower gears. If you're hitting like high revs in gear 2 or coming out of a corner in gear 3, just watch out that you don't put a bit too much throttle down and just swing the car around a little bit. Again, those fast revs coming in there can just cause a little bit of oversteer. Again, not too bad, just be a little bit more cautious on the accelerator. And again, as you can see here, passing loads of cars in quick succession. Again, not the most challenging of races, this one. You guys shouldn't have too much problem. I take second in lap 5, and then there's a little gap between him and the guy in first place. You can see I jumped to lap 7 here as I'm taking the guy coming towards the back straight here of lap number 7. So getting to first there, end of lap 7, there's a good 2 laps to spare, so you really shouldn't have any issues with that one either. That's Tsukuba Circuit. Moving on then, Laguna Seca. This is a tricky course, you got to know it, and it doesn't pop up that frequently, so I find I don't practice it too much. but it's a good fun course. It's got some really nice lines and some nice technical sections, so just what I'd suggest is just turn in nice and early so that you don't get too much understeer. This course can give you a bit of understeer. Just make sure you turn in nice and early, brake nice and early. This corkscrew, make sure you're braking really early. You want to control this as much as possible. This is the one place which you really can mess up. Not too much throttle coming down there. Let the car settle as it hits the bottom there, and then maybe shift up into third early in the low revs, and then just accelerate smoothly out. Try not to use too much steering as you're coming in there, because you'll have a lot of pressure on those front tyres, and you might just get an oversteer, and a spin there can really, you know, screw you up. So again, make sure you're braking really early, and then you can just, if you need to, just accelerate out onto the wide and then cut in, you know, get the exact line that you want there. So it's always going to be more beneficial just to take it a little safely and not try and cut it too far, because going into the sand there is just a pain in the ass. I actually drove this particular race really sloppily. I had pretty bad laps, and I kept on completely screwing up my braking point for the very last corner, so I didn't have the best lap times. You can see here coming in second, nearing the end of lap 4, and this got really close. I caught up to the guy in first on lap 5, and for about the first time in the race I actually just managed to get that last corner right. Make sure you're braking kind of earlier than expected there, and I do get the win, and that was with bad driving, so maybe slightly tougher, but just keep it smooth, and again, you should be able to get the win on that one. Now, Special Stage Route 5, Clubman Circuit, this was so fun. This is one of the, you know, one of my favourite tracks, and in this car, performing how well it performs with this setup, it was so much fun. Like, seriously, you can see just with these long clips, you can see that it just absolutely destroys these corners. You can come through most of them at sort of 80%, you know, just, it's really good fun. I love driving this one. Hopefully you guys can get a bit of enjoyment with this one. Just the car and this track just go hand in hand, you know, it just really suits, and so you shouldn't have a problem with this one. Again, it was a relatively easy win. Just be careful a little bit on the gas, because there's a lot of sort of little bumps like that one there. You don't want to hit that and hit the gas real hard and then end up spinning out. But just keep the car under control, and again, you can generally get your foot down nice and early through the corners. Make sure again you're turning in early. Keep your, you know, your curves sort of, you need to keep on top of them so that you're not missing the next corner and whatnot. And as long as you keep it smooth like that, you shouldn't have a problem. You can see there halfway round, lap 4 out of 5, I take first place. So a whole lap and a half to spare. Like I said, the car just handles beautifully on this course. So yeah, really good fun track this, and hopefully you guys can, you know, find a good setup of your own, or if you're using my one, hopefully you see how much fun that track actually was. I enjoyed it. Okay, lastly we've got an Eiffel Custom, as I said. Now this one I had to do with my dual shock, so I was on the sticks for this one, not the wheel, and that's because for some reason, I do not know why, with my GT5, my new wheel, every time I went around a particular corner, it would recalibrate it, like not like full on spin the wheel, but like it would just jolt the calibration so that the center was like 10 degrees to the left, and it would do that each time I went past the corner. So by the end of it, the center of the steering wheel supposedly was like 90 degrees round to the left, and it was just impossible. I have no idea, it's just some weird glitch or something. I really have no idea what's going on with that. So I had to do this with the dual shock, and it was a bit of a struggle. This one is all about keeping your lines between each corner perfect. You can see there's lots of sort of corners that link in, so it's all about making sure you're in the right position for the next corner so that you can keep the whole thing really smooth and a sort of a high average speed throughout. As you can see here, lots of sort of left rights, most of the time in fourth or third gear, and just really keeping a high average speed, like I said. Some of these little dips, like right after the straight, and that one there, just make sure you're braking early and turning in nice and early. Just keep on the very inside, keep on the apex of the corner there for the best line through, and also you get a bit of understeer on the outside of the corners, and there's less grip there, so if you put the accelerator down too hard you might end up spinning. You can see in lap 5 I'm at second place. This was one of the trickier ones. As you can see, you want to be hitting under 110s per lap. I was hitting sort of, I got a 110 on my first lap and then 1.8s and 1.9s for the rest of the race, and I got in there, but 110s you might struggle, so try and keep your lap times down for that one. If anyone else has a G27, by the way, if you have any weird problems with that, send me a message, because that's really weird. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.